All right, Alex, what are we thinking about this hand right here?
I think we're on the draw. I think a, it's not the best hand ever. You
Mm-hmm.
probably would want to trade one of those islands for a spell, but you can't really throw this back. You're going to see a lot of cards by the second turn, and if you're lucky, you're going to hit and get probably a cheap Terror or Serpent. Going in, not knowing the opponent, what they're playing, I'd keep this.
All right, let's keep it.
More so now because the format just experienced a ban of this deck, actually, of a card in this deck. So there's no more all that glitter. So we're not going to be facing as much immediate pressure. So
Sure.
yeah, here, we're just island pass. There's not much else to do.
Sure,
And we
yeah.
definitely want to leave the Thought Scour for the end step. This deck does run Force Spike, and it's known that this deck runs Force Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure.
so yeah, what we're probably up against now is the red-white Boros synthesizer deck. So yeah, we're gonna Thought Scour ourselves.
Okay.
And did we hit two spells?
In the yard, we got Spell Pierce, Counterspell.
Great. So yeah, we're well on our way.
Okay, great.
Um, so yeah, let's see. So Tolarian Terror should cost 4. So what I'd probably do here is play out Island,
Mm-hmm.
and then unfortunately we really kind of have to pass. What we're probably
Sure.
going to end up doing is cycling the Mental Journey just to get another spell in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is to cycle Lonely Sandbar. And if our opponent does something where we could counter it with like a Spell Pierce or that Force Spike,
Mm.
we'd probably do that.
Sure.
But otherwise, we definitely want to get another spell in the graveyard. Um, that ups. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to counter this
Okay.
or try to. Even the only thing we can hit really is Force Spike, and they'd be able to pay for that anyway.
Sure. Sure.
Um, But yeah, so this deck tries to win by accruing value through its same things. Tries to win by accruing value through its artifacts energy. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll try to cycle through clues. So yeah, end of turn we'll cycle the journey and hope to spike. In this matchup specifically, we really want to lead with Tolarian Terror. Their main interaction is Journey to Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's actually a great hit. So yeah, I think here we just play the land, and I think we can slam a terror.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now, the thing we have to watch out for in this matchup is we really want to watch out for Galvanic Blast. Uh, when they replay that Thraben Inspector, they'll have access to Galvanic Blast.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to pressure our life total. So as we start taking more damage, we really have to watch out for that, kind of hold spells in reserve for that if we can't counter specifically.
Sure.
Um, they're going to be able to absorb a lot of damage. Oh, okay, this is new.
So they're making three goblins?
One
Okay.
ones, yeah.
Are there
So
any convoke creatures in Pauper?
there are, but not a lot of them see play. So now what we really have to watch out for is something completely different.
Okay.
We need to watch out for Goblin Bushwhacker because
Oh,
if you're running
sure.
Kadoltha Rebirth, you're almost certainly running Bushwhacker, which means uh, that's actually a pretty good opt. So yeah, let's cast the opt. Not ideal timing, but we really got to see if we can find. We don't need any more land.
Hmm.
Pretty good. Um, they have how many cards in hand?
They have two cards in hand.
Okay. I think the play here is Thought Scour ourselves. Hope we hit. Well, wait. No, there's no way for us to hit and hold up counter spells. So I think the actual play is just play Island Pass. Because there's
Sure.
no way we can.
If we're
Yeah.
playing Island
Um,
Pass, is there any world that we want to play Lonely Sandbar? Or do we want to keep
no,
this to
because
cycle?
we want to keep it for fresh cards. Because if they don't cast anything next turn,
Mm-hmm.
um, we'll have a chance to uh, basically put 4 cards in the see like 2 new cards.
Sure.
And yeah, but they're off. They're off Metalcraft. They're off. Well, they're no longer off Metalcraft. So,
Synthesizer. We're okay with this?
I think. Yeah, I think we counter this. There's no way they can bushwhacker us, and that represents a lot of value.
All right. Counterspell. All right, they're swinging out.
Block, which I'd block one of the inspectors,
Sure.
just because that's more likely to be picked up later.
Sure. That makes sense.
And
The 5,
yeah,
a little scary.
we are. We got to hit, so we got to thought scour ourselves. It's a little late for that. Yeah, we really can't put enough power on the board, and I think our echoing truths are in the sideboard. So I think
we just go to game 2.
I think we go to game 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't see it this match, but there's a good chance they're running other artifacts, things like Candy Trail, Lembus, Ichor Wellspring, just for that synergy.
Sure.
What we probably want here is we probably want to cut our snaps. We're really hitting tokens, if anything. It's in the 2-drop, yeah. But Echoing Truth can sweep up a lot more, and they tend to have very, very redundant effects.
Sure.
If we're going to be on the play, I like Force Spike a decent amount. And I also like Annul.
Okay. Yeah, that seems good against them.
Especially because if they're running Journey to Nowhere, that's their main way to take out our threats. I'd say we probably don't need Mental Journey.
Okay.
All the Mental Journeys. I'd actually probably cut 2 counter spells because they're going to be bringing in Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast. Sure. So what we want to try to be doing is trying to get on the board. So the option is the Still Sabotage, which can kind of ruin their day. If they're trying to pick up something with a Glint Hawk and we still sabotage the artifact in response, they have to sacrifice the Glint Hawk. It's also possible we want to cut a Deep Analysis because we're probably not casting that full price. So I'd probably bring in the 2 Steel Sabotage and maybe the Disrupt.
Sure.
It's kind of narrow, but it could, because they're going to be sacrificing their lands to their spells anyway, or their things anyway. So I think we're doing this.
Okay, I believe it. All right, we would love to play first. Okay, what do we think about this?
Yeah, I think that's a keep. I think, we have our other threat. It's a little more fragile, but we have, a card we really want to see in Murmuring Mystic because that turns all our spells into blockers. And we also have Opt to kind of set up our Delver. So
do we want to go turn 1 Delver?
I think turn 1 Delver. And what we'll probably end up doing is setting a stop on our upkeep to Opt.
Sure, just to make sure we get the Delver trigger.
Or not. That's fine. That's one that's not pointed at our face.
Sure, healed us for 4.
I'll take that exchange any day of the week.
Great. All right.
Here it's just Island Pass.
Sure.
The real question comes with how you're going to want to sequence your cantrips here. And here you want to see the most cards possible. That's annoying, but not the end of the world.
Sure. Do we want to let it resolve? Or do we want to fish for
I'd say there's no harm in opting right now. to try and see if we can dig for one of those spells.
Hmm.
Actually, ooh, that leave that on top.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'll draw it and then we'll let that resolve. Because what we want to do now is we want to end of turn. We're going to scour ourselves. We'll exile the Delver
Okay.
from our graveyard
Sure. Delver gone.
because now we're in a position to thought scour ourselves, flip over the spells to slam terror on turn 3.
Great.
And it looks like we got there. So, and that's
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, we slam terror, and they're not in a position for a couple turns to stop it.
No.
So we might be able just to ride this to victory.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Just any of them, I guess.
Yeah, they're, whatever they want, whatever you feel easiest clicking is really
Sure.
what it comes down to. Yeah,
Mm.
and so you're seeing one of the issues that sometimes comes up with these decks is when they're not recurring their value artifacts.
Mm.
It's kind of a
Sure. It's a little
yeah.
awkward.
So uh, I just bash, play Delver, and pass. We're really not in a bad position right now, especially with that Echoing Truth.
Hmm.
Um, we're pressuring their life total in a way that they're not pressuring ours. They were really aggressive on taking out our Delver before, which leads me to believe they probably will do something similar.
Sure.
Um, or wait to see what happens if it flips. And if they end up sacrificing a land or any artifact for the Kadolta Rebirth, um, I wouldn't pull the trigger on Echoing Truth yet, just because they're probably also representing a blast. So yeah, this is fine. They'll probably pick up the relic to replay it, which is fine. We have our threat. And
Sure.
yeah,
And we just get rid of this. We don't need it
yeah,
anymore. And we're just happy to go to our turn.
yeah. They didn't attack, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Um, so let's see if Delver flips. Honestly, the thing we want to see most right now is a land.
We got a counter spell.
Counterspell's not bad though. No,
We
Counterspell's fine.
we can reveal
Uh, yeah. Uh, and really, I would bash here.
with everyone.
Both creatures. Yeah, I
I like
either
it.
way, they didn't attack, which I think tells me their hand is really defensive and probably, yep, that's absolutely fine. They're still going to 10.
True.
Um, so what I'm thinking they have in their hand is, and yeah, we can just move to their turn. I'm putting them on Journey to Nowhere and possibly, oh, that's perfect. Yeah, let that
Sure.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No
They're
problem.
digging, they're digging for Journey to Nowhere with a Pyroblast backup
Mm.
because that's really the only way they can take out this terror.
Sure.
Um, and yep, let that happen. We have that covered with Echoing Truth.
Right.
Okay, yeah, and they're not attacking again.
Are
Okay,
we are we happy to go to our turn, or do we want to echoing truth the goblins?
um, I think we want to wait to see if we can draw a second island for Counterspell.
Sure. Oh,
So I think here we play a pre-combat Delver just to try and draw out a Counterspell. Or
okay.
not a Counterspell, any kind of removal or anything.
Yeah. Sure.
And I think we go to combat. And we see if we get a stack block, and if we do, we target our opponent's goblin tokens with Echoing Truth. I'm almost certain they have Pyroblast, but even here, we're taking out. Um, actually, I don't think they have Pyroblast. Otherwise, they probably would have. used it on the Terror at this point. So let's see. Let's go for, I think that's fine for ordering blockers. And I think let's go for Echoing Truth on the token and see if we get there.
All right.
They lightning bolted the token, which is great. Or are they lightning bolting the Terror?
Yeah, they're lightning bolting the Terror.
That's an extremely good exchange for us.
Yeah, I think we're happy with this.
I mean, granted, they still have 2 cards in hand, but they wasted an artifact, 2 cards. Yeah, I it's not perfect,
Sure.
but I'll take it.
Sure, and if at any point we had an island, we get to play our Mystic.
Yep. And this is actually great. They have to pick up a tapped land. So, this is great. I still think that if we reveal
Got an island?
Well, we're not attacking, but we're slamming the first Mystic.
Sure, so we're not going to reveal the card.
Yeah. I think here we slam Mystic, and then we're in a great position, because then next turn we can Deep Analysis with Counterspell backup, and we're getting to a point where we've really kind of cemented our hold on the game. And this is kind of how you want the games to go. You get an early Terror or Cryptic Serpent that they just cannot answer, and you've put them on the back foot from the get-go. So, yeah, great.
Okay. We have a Annul.
I say reveal, and I say just attack with the Delver, with the Insect.
Okay.
They either block, but there's really not much. That is interesting.
Very interesting.
I would fire off the Counterspell here, because we're going to get a bird out of it.
Right.
And they're not really in a position where like they're down to 1 card in hand, and we have Deep Analysis in the hopper. So yeah, they have nothing. We're at 19, and it's turn what, 7, 6,
8.
My screen is small. Turn 8. Yeah, they don't have Metalcraft. They are.
We win.
Yep.
All right, great. Now, does what we saw in game 2 change how we want to board at all, or are we just good to send it right back?
So the only thing I would really consider is cutting an Annul for a Counterspell, because we didn't see any Journey to Nowheres. And
all right, anything besides
for a second.
Anything besides the Annul for the Counterspell?
No, I don't think so. Uh-oh.
You good?
My Discord just vanished, so give me 1 second to bring it back up.
Yeah, no problem.
But I think that's it, and I only say that because we didn't see any Journey to Nowheres, and they weren't playing like they were going to see one.
Sure. Makes sense. Two Considers, an Opt, and 2 Force Spikes.
How many lands?
2 islands.
2 Considers, and Opt. I say we keep that. They really kind of have to get on.
They play a turn 1 Relic.
And there we go. Yeah. And yeah, I say we just sit back and we kind of churn through our library and counter anything we can.
Right.
And I got the video back. So.
Yeah. We have, as you can see, we have drawn our 3rd Force Spike. All right, we Force Spike this.
Snap it off. Like, we're set up. We don't want them to get on board, and my guess is with them playing all these, they just take the Force Spike away, it's fine.
Oh, they missed a land drop. That's great for our
They
triple
kept
force
his
spike
hand.
land.
Yeah, we are really well set up. So we'll see what happens next turn. But I say we probably consider
Okay, sure. All right, we force spike
force
this.
spike again. Yep.
Keep you from ever playing the game.
And yeah, that's fine. And
Okay, we
then we
get to
will.
consider on their instep.
Yep.
Cryptic Serpent.
I think we actually bin that. We're pretty far away from it,
Sure.
and we are going to see a lot of cards. And
We got a
lo and
terror.
behold, Tolarian, which is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So here I actually think consider main.
Main
We'll
phase.
consider now.
Sure.
Yeah. We want to hit our lands. We want to try and
Just bin a consider.
then I consider. Yeah.
Well, it's a land.
Problems with my.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll play the land.
Okay. All right, and then we'll just hold up our force spike.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah. We're just gonna keep doing everything we can to stop them from getting on the board. And then once that happens, we're going to be in a position to slam the terror. And considering how little they've
Oh, hold on.
been able to do. Oh,
Okay, I think we're good. I had you doubled for a second, but I think it's good
okay,
now.
I'm back. Yeah.
Um, okie dokie.
Yeah, because I had to rejoin the
Oh,
call.
sure, sure, sure.
But they popped the relic, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And looks like it's our turn.
Yes. So we can consider to look for another land.
So here I think I say consider, and the thing we really want to hit is a at this point what we really want to hit perfect land. Let's keep. We'll play it out, and we're in a position where next turn, if they go for a relic, we have the annul,
Sure.
and then we can also double opt, and we're then into a world where our terror costs 3, and we're really well set.
I like it. All right, a sky
Yep, we let this
fisher.
happen. They have to set themselves back. Yep, they have to set themselves back a land drop to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right, we're gonna get to go double opt.
yeah,
Uh,
leave that on top, and then thought scour ourselves.
mm-hmm. 2 islands and
And
thought scour.
I
We
say
can do it
let's do it
again.
again.
Yeah. This time we hit echoing truth and opt and drew another terror. So that's nice.
Okay, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
so
6
how much do our
in the
terrors
yard.
cost now?
1 mana.
So I think we untap. Oh, and this is perfect. We slam both terrors,
Okay.
and if they have a red elemental blast for one of them, we have the disrupt
Mm-hmm.
to kind of make them very unhappy.
Sure.
But yeah, right now they have a 2/3, and really the best thing they can do is go Kadolta Rebirth into Bushwhacker.
They're lightning
Are they
bolting
bolting
our
our
face.
face?
Yep. I think we're just fine with this. I don't think we care.
I would disrupt.
Okay.
I would disrupt. And I say this because that represents to me that they are. How many cards do they have in their hand?
4.
4. So we know one of them's a land. My guess is the other 3 are burn spells.
Oh, sure. They're just trying to burn
So
us
they're
out.
going to try and they're trying to burn us out. And if they attack with the Skyfisher, yep, they are on a burn plan.
Right.
So
There's a bolt to our face.
We let that happen.
There's a bolt to our face. See, that was a
We
correct
opt at the end of
read.
turn.
I don't want to
We don't
land.
need any more lands. We're good.
Okay.
No, and we drew one anyway. I say attack with both terrors. Play Mystic because they're down to what, 2 cards in hand.
Yep.
So yeah, we play Mystic and we snap off that annul on anything we can.
Sure.
Because really, in order for they need to have 3 artifacts and 2 galvanic blasts, and even then that only puts us to 2.
Sure.
So I'm struggling to think of a combination of 3 cards that win them the game this turn.
Sure.
And they didn't attack, which means they don't have it, which means they're on defense. So I actually think it's safe. I would just attack with both terrors because attacking with Mystic doesn't change the clock.
Sure.
And let's see.
Are we
No
playing
4
out
Lightning
any of
Bolt.
these Delvers?
I think so, only because we want to have the maximum number of threats available. We could get punished if they're running something like End the Festivities or a 1 toughness sweeper,
Sure.
but I don't see a world where they bring that in.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And this allows us, like, if they somehow manage to handle both terrors, we still have an opportunity to present lethal next turn.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
We won
Okay.
our first match.